What is machine design? Machine design is defined as the use of scientific principles, technical information, and imagination in the description of a machine or a mechanical system to perform the specific functions with maximum economy. And so, a designer should have basic knowledge about the scientific principles, the technical information about basic elements which are available in mechanical engineering, as well as he should be able to use his imagination. So, what are the scientific principles? These scientific principles are those principles and laws underlying general science such as physics, mathematics, statics, and engineering science such as thermodynamics, heat transfer, fluid mechanics, etc. Technical information means knowledge about the basic elements of a machine, such as shaft, gears, nuts, bolts, belts, chains, etc. In addition to that, a designer should use his imagination, his skill of creating unique designs. He should use his creativity in order to produce designs which suits the requirement. So the final outcome will be the complete description of the machine. What is the complete description of a machine? It will be the drawings. It will be the drawings which carry detailed information like what is the type of machining, what is the type of surface finish you have to obtain on each component, etc. So the final outcome will be detailed description of the machine in the form of drawings with all required information mentioned in it. The designer should also ensure that the machine should perform the specific functions with maximum economy and maximum efficiency. It should satisfy the needs of customer at minimum cost and maximum output. Let us discuss the basic procedure of any design project. Any design project involves the following steps: the market survey, define the specifications of the product, then selection of a proper mechanism from alternative mechanisms, then prepare a general layout of the configuration and select appropriate joining methods, then design of individual components. Design of individual components is the most important step. After that, the final preparation of drawings related to assembly and individual components. These are all the basic steps involved in a design project. It is a step-by-step approach for the conversion of specifications of the product or the functional requirements of the product to detailed drawings related to assembly as well as individual components. And this basic procedure is common for all design projects. Let us discuss each of these steps one by one. First one is market survey. What is market survey? Why do we need to conduct market survey? Market survey is conducted to identify whether there is any necessity or requirement of a new product in the market. Market survey helps you to identify what is the current trend, what are the requirements of the customer now, and what they are expecting from the new product. All this information can be obtained through the market survey. What will be the outcome of a market survey? The market survey helps you to identify the specifications of the product, the detailed specifications or the requirements of the product. Suppose you want to introduce a vehicle into the market. You can, through market survey, you can identify its required mileage, its required passenger capacity, what should be its cost, what should be the dimensions of the product, what are the requirements, any other extra requirements like amount of luxury you have to add into the vehicle, etc. These details are obtained from market survey, and that forms the complete specification of the product, the second step. The third step is selecting a proper mechanism for the product. What is a mechanism? A mechanism is a set of machine components which are sequentially arranged in such a way that the product can perform a desired task, or it will help the product to perform the particular task. There are many mechanisms which are currently available. So you can also define a new mechanism and compare different mechanisms to actuate the product. And you can select a suitable mechanism for the product. While choosing a mechanism, you have to consider many factors. What is the cost of the mechanism? What are all standard parts available in the mechanism? What are all non-standard parts or parts which you have to fabricate by yourself? So you have to identify such non-standard parts. What are the raw materials required for the mechanism? All these factors are to be considered by selecting the mechanism, and based on these factors you have to choose the suitable mechanism. Sometimes a single mechanism is not sufficient for the product. In that case, you have to choose multiple mechanism for the complete working of the product. The next step is preparing the general layout of the product. All the mechanisms chosen in the previous step forms the general layout of the configuration. Block diagrams are used to represent the general layout of the configuration. So you have to choose suitable joining methods such as welding, riveting, etc. in order to connect the individual components of the configuration. Rough sketches of the individual components of the configuration are also prepared in this step. Consider the case of an overhead crane. For an overhead crane, the general layout involves block diagram of electric motor, then gears, clutch mechanism, a set of gearbox, then rope drum, and set of wires, pulley, etc. And there is also a brake. All these components forms individual blocks in the configuration. Next is the design of individual components of the configuration. This is the most important step from mission design point of view. This is the step in which the geometric dimensions of the product is determined. For this, you have to design or determine the dimensions of individual components. So how do you design individual components? It involves determining the forces acting on the components, then selecting a suitable material based on the strength, rigidity, and wear resistance requirement of the component. And then you have to determine the likely mode of failure of the component. And you have to select a suitable factor of safety. And this all steps finally leads to the determination of dimensions of individual components. Once the geometric dimensions of individual components are prepared, then you have to prepare detailed drawings of individual components as well as assembly. That is the next step. This is the final step of design project. That is preparation of the detailed drawings of individual components as well as assembly. The detailed drawings also carry information about the type of surface finish required for the components, the individual dimensions, what are the tolerance required, okay, what are the tolerance which are allowable for the components, and then the type of machining operation which is used to manufacture the components. All these details are represented in the drawings. And if required, a final prototype model is prepared based on these detailed drawings. A separate list of standard parts as well as non-standard parts are prepared by the designer. The standard parts can be purchased from the market, and the non-standard parts you have to fabricate using the production shop facility available in your plant. So these are the details about the basic procedure of a design project. The fifth step is design of individual components. That is the crucial step. Now we shall discuss about the fifth step in more detail. That is the design of individual components. This shows the basic procedure of Design of individual machine elements. It involves specifying the functions of the element, determining the forces acting on the element, selecting suitable material for the element, determining failure mode of the element, determining the geometric dimensions of the element, and modify the dimensions for assembly and manufacture if required, and finally preparing the work drawing of the element. Let us discuss each of these steps one by one. First one is specification of the function of the element. The different elements involved in a machine are shaft, key, gear, pulley, spring, etc. So you have to specify the function of each element. What is the function of a shaft? Shaft has to transmit the torque from one component to another. What is the function of a bearing? Bearing is to support a rotating element like shaft. What is the function of a key? Key helps the transmission of torque or power from shaft to the gear. Therefore, the first step is specifying the exact function of the machine element. Next step is determining the forces acting on a machine element. What are the types of forces which can act on a machine element? It will be a static load which is constant in magnitude with respect to time, or it will be a fluctuating load which varies in magnitude with respect to time. So how do you determine the forces? For that you have to draw the free body diagram of the machine element, and you have to consider the internal as well as external forces acting on the element. What are the external forces acting on the element? When torque or power is transmitted from one machine element to another machine element, it will be subjected to external forces. What are internal forces? Inertial force, gravitational force, etc. So you have to also consider frictional force during determination of the forces. Next is selection of suitable material for the machine element. You have to consider four important factors while selecting a material: the availability of the material, the cost of the material, the mechanical properties, as well as the manufacturing considerations. The material should be cheap or easily available. It should have sufficient low cost, and it should be it should possess sufficient mechanical properties like strength, ductility, okay, toughness, etc. In addition to that, it should be easily machinable or it can be manufactured easily. All these factors are considering while you select a suitable material. There are different types of material available. Okay, for engine block or for flywheel, you can choose cast iron. For automobile body panel, you can choose mild steel or aluminum alloys. For crankshaft and connecting rod, you can select nichrome steel. For transmission shafts, you can select plain carbon steel. So you have to consider the mechanical properties of this material while choosing the suitable one. Next is determination of the failure mode of the element. There are different failure modes which can occur in an element. They are failure by elastic deformation, failure by plastic deformation or yielding, and failure by sudden fracture. So you have to determine what type of failure which can occur in the component when that particular force is acting or when the force is exceeding the strength of the material. What happens to the material? How does it fail? So determining the failure mode is also an important step in design of machine elements. Different components fail in different ways. A tension rod fails by plastic deformation, while a transmission shaft fails by elastic deformation. You can also consider a component which is fabricated with cast iron. Its failure mode is brittle fracture or sudden fracture without any plastic deformation or elastic deformation. So you have to anticipate the appropriate failure mode which can occur in the component. Next step is determination of the geometric dimensions of the component. How can you determine the geometric dimensions? The previous three steps, like determination of forces, selection of suitable material, and determination of the failure mode, these three steps are very crucial in determining the geometric dimensions of the component. Based on these three previous steps, you can select a suitable factor of safety for designing the component, or you can select a suitable safety factor for determining the geometric dimensions of the component. More details about factor of safety and failure modes are discussed in subsequent chapters. Once you know the mechanical properties of the material chosen, you can determine the permissible stress value. If you know the ultimate strength and yield strength of a material, which are the mechanical properties, if you divide it by suitable factor of safety, you can get the permissible stress for the material. You are also aware about the forces acting on the element. Once you divide the forces by the permissible stress, you will get the area of cross section of the component. This area of cross section of the component will help you to determine the geometric dimensions. Once the geometric dimensions of the components are fixed, you may need to modify the dimensions while you consider the assembly as well as manufacturing viewpoint. Sometimes a production engineer may suggest some modifications, or from assembly point of view there are some limitations, and all these factors you have to consider and modify the dimensions in some cases. But finally you have to check the design at the critical cross sections, because the critical cross sections are those cross sections where the failure can initiate. So always you have to recheck the design at critical cross sections. Once the dimensions are fixed, then the working drawing of the machine elements are prepared. These are detailed drawings as I mentioned in the previous slide. These drawings should include all the information, all the necessary views as well as cross-sectional details of the machine element. These drawings are then transferred to the production shop for fabrication of the machine element.